For me, one of the coolest things about life is that no one has lived your exact set of experiences. And because your experiences are unique, so is your perspective, so is the wisdom that you can gather. And this is where you can become your own mad philosopher. And it's not in a way that you think you know much at all. The more you know, the less you realize you do know, because there's so many bigger things going on that we don't have the words to explain. There's a surrender in that process of understanding you don't know much, but you have gained wisdom through your experiences, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the twists and turns, or even through the stagnation. And this excites me. And when you look at it from men that I follow and paths that they've lived, it's certainly not through perfection. It's that they've had those huge ups and downs. They've made many, many mistakes, but they kept rolling with the punches, learned what was needed, and then moved forward once more. And as I've mentioned in other videos, they have embraced their nature, their imperfect nature, and they've said like, well, this is what I am at this moment, and this is all I got, and I'm going to move forward with it. And I understand when I say embrace the nature that sometimes that brings up fear in people, as the human part of themselves has made many mistakes, and sometimes there's addictions and other things. But what I found with addictions is that, yes, when you embrace your nature, they have an opportunity to come up, but it also provides remedy to those through not suppression, not force, and more just letting things move through maybe rising in, I don't know, peace, freedom, consciousness, and then grace and effortlessness transformations, which might mean letting go of those things that aren't serving you anymore. This is what happens when you embrace your nature, that it's not just full crazy steam ahead, but there's moments of refinement and reflection, and life tends to bring you into that. And this is how you can gain your unique perspectives and wisdom. It is from living your path. And yes, we gain inspiration from others, ancient texts, sacred texts, religious texts, all of these things. But what I find with even reading a good book or listening to a good podcast or whatever, and you have those aha moments, I find that that is actually through your past experience. And the words that someone has said has hit you in a way that they've been able to articulate what was going through your mind or what you were trying to figure out in a way you hadn't yet. And the words sort of bring peace to your mind, because you're like, that was it. But that comes through experience. It's like my favorite quote from Manly P. Hall is, "Those who live the life shall know the doctrine." Therefore, the person who walks their path and experiences a lot of life, the doctrine or these sacred texts or whatever, they start making sense, because they're a man who is their own explorer, their own adventurer of the inner realm and the outer realm. And this is when I spoke about ADD in the last one, and I read, it was just a guy, I don't know how much truth this holds, but he was saying how that ADD, the archetype of the ADD person is an explorer and an adventurer, and they need that constant sort of taste of life. And for me, that felt true, because that's what I've experienced in my life when I had adventurous stages and when I flipped back on myself and had those hermit stages. And all the stages offer an opportunity to gain your own knowledge and wisdom. Even the person who has that one job, that one girlfriend, stays in the small town, his time and the way he did that and his own introspection gives him his own unique wisdom. Yet, if he chose that decision out of fear of stepping into the unknown, I'd almost guarantee that he doesn't possess the wisdom of someone who kept going into the unknown and learning from that, alchemizing it and growing forth. This for me is exciting, that no one's lived that perfect life, nor will I, nor will you, nor do we want to. Like, as I said, the wise ones that I follow have always lived a path that looks like this. But that feeling of your unique experiences create a unique you, and that perspective in some form will be helpful to the world, be that to your friends, family, or on a bigger path. Maybe you share that at some point, and that doesn't need to happen, but it's just you bringing your unique perspective to the table. And I find from the adventurous life and making mistakes and falling down, it's a humbling journey at the same time, which is certainly needed. And the ego checkups and the like, oh, you don't know much, continue to happen to me. Even last week, a couple of things I thought I was sure of dropped away, and I love that because I was sure of it in my mind, but I wasn't just letting myself be in the moment and see what happens. And when that drops away, I'm like, I don't know what's up, but I do know I just have to trust myself in the moment, see what happens, and you can gain wisdom from experience. And it's not through seeking wisdom that you do experience, you just do experience, see what happens, reflect. And yeah, whatever's there's there. But your path is unique, and that is what the world needs. Authenticity through them living their path, having that self-assurance that they have lived a full life. That is what is magnetic, and people see it, feel it, and embrace it. Even ones that aren't quite on their authenticity yet, you can magnetize them because they feel it coming off you, and there's that self-assurance. And that comes from a man walking that path, trusting himself, making mistakes, and hey, might come his own mad genius philosopher in his own version one day.